Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. Bit of a different one today. We're going to be going over some of the new concepts, some of the new 3D characters we've got in the game, some of their animations, VFX, some environments, all that stuff. Basically, the building of the game. We have to keep all of that going whilst we're still prepping for the alpha experience. A lot of you have had your emails over the last few days basically saying, yes, we'd love for you guys to be involved in the alpha, and you should keep an eye out for both those emails. Perhaps check your spam or junk folders in case they've gone there. The email will be talking about the GODFORGE alpha if you want to like search those words. And then, yeah, in the next couple of weeks, we will be telling you exactly what wave you will be in for the alpha if you are involved. Now, this type of video it's really about just showing you all of the work that's going on behind the scenes, making sure that you guys are aware of the cool heroes that we're building and the cool work that the art team are doing. So Dane and the kind of like art leaders, Damon, Dan, they present this stuff to myself and Sham once every couple of weeks, and I just like to grab a few of those for you. So yeah, let's crack on. Oh, by the way, there is a GODFORGE YouTube channel now as well, if you've not seen that, with a lot of the official content. So that'll be things like the GODFORGE soundtrack. It's already released on there. Things like the cinematic will live there. And when we do like the official patch notes, they will go onto the GODFORGE YouTube channel as well. So this is more like a behind the scenes dev type of channel, whereas the GODFORGE one will be like the official one for releases and stuff. Okay, let's jump on. So no particular order here. I just thought I'd bring some cool stuff. So let's kick off with a new rare concept that's just coming through. Lebu with his big bad axe. Check out the axe, man. Damn, actually super sweet. Yeah, we've got the cool kind of like hair coming back, which could probably be used as a weapon as well. But yeah, you can just see the different call outs that the concept team go through here to make sure that the 3D team have got the right materials and the right colors and the right shapes, so that when they're building out the different heroes, they've got all of the information that they would need. We've also got Luoshen here in her final 2D render. Her weapon is going to be a fan, which she'll flick out and go Kung Fu style on us. But again, looking pretty damn sweet. This one has been kicking around for a while, but I just wanted to throw it back in because of the weapon exploration. So good, actually. Like, damn, I'll be like, any of those weapons, yes, please. Really, really cool. So we've got Chernobog here. Basically is almost like an evil figure, the black god from Slavic mythology. So there's also a white dog, which I showed you, which was Belobog. So these two are kind of like a bit yin and yang, you know, like the opposite forces, really. So pretty sweet design here with the wings coming up. I love the kind of like red and black with gold as well. We've got the weapon here on the right hand side as well. Super sweet. So looking cool. That's the 2D concept there. We go in a different direction here to Sanu, which I think is going to be a massive favorite with a lot of people in this game. To Sanu with this kind of like lightning effect coming off of his kind of like shoulder here. They're just showing some of the VFX that we could get done. But yeah, calling out things like the dragon chest tattoo, some of the armor that would be used, his weapon as well, looking pretty damn sweet. But yeah, again, I think this one's going to be absolutely unreal. We've got another concept here for a rare, Changi. Yeah, again, just making use of other elements that we've got already in the game. We're able to make use of actually Freya's kind of like chest piece here. But again, you wouldn't know it with the final designs. Poludnitsa, an epic here, Virage faction. Again, you can just kind of see where we're making use of other characters in the game already, other heroes, but quite subtly. So this one is going to be using some of the sort of hair that's already been built to make sure that we get that nice framing of the face. This one's got kind of like dark vibes. I really like it, actually. So you got like the sickle weapon, smoldering edges on some of the petals just to kind of bring it to life. But yeah, very voluptuous Polonitsa from Virage. Another really cool one here. What's this guy's name? Shangi. Shangi, like the old wise samurai dude. Oh man, again, some of these call outs are super sweet. I love the color scheme here, the visual, this kind of like, I guess it's a crown or whatever you would call this on his head, just with so much detail, with the dragon sitting there. Just like straight out of film, the wise samurai that you definitely don't want to mess with, right? Almost like a wizard style. Very, very cool. We've got a 2D render here of Svarog. So basically a weaponsmith. He's got an anvil strapped to his back. He's got a big mallet with the same sort of symbols, I guess, or yeah, same sort of visual here for his mallet as well as his anvil. You can see he's got his kind of like tongs ready. All of his weapons and tools are just there, ready to go. But again, this kind of like cool front, you know, armorers kind of like greaves and chest plate here. Super sweet, very different from anything else we've got in the game. So yeah, really cool. And then you can already see here, he's taking first sort of phases towards being made into 3D. So it's not finished yet. It's not like final piece, but it's like just making sure we've got all of the shapes in the right places and the sort of block out done as he moves through towards like high res. This one's one of my favorite 2D ones I've seen in a while. This is XP, I think you call it, Totec. I don't know, man. It feels like a totem pole, but as a dude. And if you can see like the close up here of his face, he's kind of basically, he's a cannibal. He's got this kind of like fleshy face, like skull. He's got like wild boar fur on his hands. Just kind of gross, but insanely cool at the same time. You can see he's basically been flayed. I think he's like the flayed man. So you can see where they've got all of these tool outs to what flayed skin would look like. And then his weapon's got this kind of like cheeky tongue out, taking some references from the mythology, but so cool. Absolutely insanely good. So I can't wait to see this one come through to 3D. We've had a placeholder Excalibur in-game for a while. So you can see here the new design for Excalibur, which is going to be built out for King Arthur real soon. But yeah, much more like what we need for that legendary weapon. So King Arthur's sword coming through soon. Himiko. This is Himiko 3D. Again, this is the high poly, so it's not like full texture and that type of stuff. It's more about just making sure that everything is lined up properly, feels right. You can see the concept here on the left-hand side. But yeah, the team at Locksha doing great work on this 3D. Got another one here, Zuma, sorry. Again, this is block out, so it's not like final textures and stuff like that. It's just making sure that all the shapes are right, the colors are right, but not detailed. So the detailing comes next. This one is fully 3D. Tialong, one of our dragons. Another view of it here. Michaela doing crazy work here with Tialong. So there's going to be a bunch of different dragons in game as well as other creatures that we've been seeing. I think this might be another favorite here just because of a bunch of kind of like anime style programs, but yeah, come through really well in 3D. But you can just see, like, I mean, I'm going through and I've cut out maybe half of the ones that we see. So there's just so much going on in these packs. We've got some of the different layouts for our environments coming through. So this is the workshop of Patar. This is one of our kind of like general waves for Asgard. So you can see the kind of like cool statues. This is our sort of final render before we go into, well, it's already in 3D, but you can just sort of see some of the call outs for Asgard here, the mountain range looking sweet. We've also got some call outs for like how we plan different battlegrounds. So, you know, what's the kind of like fighting space? How much room do we need around our heroes to be able to make that work? You know, what sort of call outs do we want? Where do we want to create different pieces so that we can have kind of like modular dungeons when we need to? So again, lots of work going on with the design work here. And then it kind of goes into a next stage where it's like, well, what type of things should we be adding in just to kind of make sure that we've got that real feeling of I'm in an environment to fight in. So yeah, again, kind of there's a number of different sketches and thumbnails that get done for this before we end up having like a color pass and then obviously go into the 3D. This one here actually is now finished and in game, and we're sort of testing it for the alpha already. So we also create these kind of wallpapers here with some of our big hitters from the different mythologies, really just for marketing purposes and stuff like that. But we've got a number of these being created right now with some big call out heroes and really just kind of like giving a flavor of what GODFORGE is all about. So Mike doing some awesome work there with the help of kind of like Aaron and the team at Magic Media. Okay, and then we've got stuff like portrait design. So, you know, we take our hero, we try and get a cool kind of like painted portrait of the hero. We then cut it in the places where we want to so that we get a good feel for the character or the hero in both the sort of roster screen, but also in the battle screen. So we try and make one portrait do the job of two things, but we cut it in a different way depending on the scene that you're in. So here's a couple of examples. This is Yan Wang, and then we've got Tengu here as well. So with Tengu, we made the kind of artistic decision that although he's got wings, for the battle scene, we want to take those wings out because it doesn't really frame very well. So stuff like that is stuff that we're working on all the time. Okay, that's the end of the slideshow. Let's take a look at some of the kind of like, I guess, first animations. This is Quetzalcoatl here. Ultimate animation without VFX yet. So flying up and then bam. She is an invoker. So I guess cool down below. What do you think is going on in this ability? But pretty damn sweet. Visual. Really love that. And then we've got Mordred's attacks here. So let's start with his basic attack. This is a full VFX coming in. So we've got the squad in the VFX team working alongside Norbert, who does the sound effects as well. So he's trying to map the sound effects to the visual now that we're seeing before it then goes to Dirk, who implements in game. This is the ultimate. Whack. Love that. And then final one for today, we have got Heimdall ultimate ability coming through. Stay frosty. Again, what do you think that skill is? That is going to be it from me today for Fateless. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sub if you like what you see, and I will see you in the next one.